Get his earbuds in so we can check that sound. One last white balance check for anyone looking for it. You good there? All right. Good to go? Okay, you have a couple-minute warning. It'll happen when it happens. I do have press releases if y'all would like them. I'm going to put them on this back table. Get it now or get it afterward. It'll still be there, okay? You got here. We can double stack. We can double stack over here. No.
Yeah. If we scoot closer, there we go. I want to get everybody in. Perfect.
I'm short, man. Deputy Director.
All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. I'm Kelly Walker. I'm the acting field office director for ICE Enforcement and Removal Operations, the Miami Field Office. Thank you for being here today as we announce the successes of a large-scale operation to remove criminal illegal aliens and sex offenders off the streets and out of our Florida communities. This operation is a testament to the dedication, collaboration, and unwavering commitment of our law enforcement agency partners through ICE's 287G program, designed to protect our communities and uphold the rule of law. Today, you will hear from key leaders who played a pivotal role in this operation. Join me in welcoming Deputy Director, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, Madison Sheahan, Executive Director, State Board of Immigration Enforcement, Anthony Coker, representing the Governor, the Commissioner for the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, Mark Glass, Director for the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, Melissa Bujeda. Their efforts and the many other local, state, and federal agencies that partner every day with ICE across the state of Florida demonstrate the power of teamwork. Their courage and professionalism are the foundation of our successes here. It is my privilege to introduce our first speaker, Deputy Director Sheahan. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you again for being here. We're getting pretty used to doing these press conferences in Florida because Florida really is the model for the rest of the country for us to be able to conduct 287G enforcement. Throughout the state of Florida, we have over 335 agreements to be able to do 287G through our task force model, which gives some of these local officers immigration authority to be able to go out and effectuate change in their communities and truly put the American people first. As we've been working with the state of Florida, it really sets a model to the nation of what it looks like when the federal government and the state government is able to work together to effectuate change. We're able to work side by side as partners and not overreach as government to be able to go and remove the worst of the worst criminals. So I wanted to give you a quick timeline of what we've been able to do here in the state of Florida. Months ago, we started with Operation Tidal Wave, being able to have the largest 287G arrests in the country of over 1,000 arrests in just 1 week. We've then been able to open Alligator Alcatraz and the other facilities around the state. We've had multiple 287G ops that have proved to be very successful. We've been able to do CDL operations that we've been able to use that model nationwide, and now we have this one. And today, as Secretary Noem coined it just yesterday, Operation Dirtbag, to go after people who have attacked children in our communities. In just 10 days, we've been able to remove, in partnership with the state of Florida, over 230 of the worst heinous criminals from their streets. Our job as law enforcement is to protect the most vulnerable. Democrats will tell you that that is the criminal illegal aliens who they have let run free in our communities, but not this group of law enforcement. We know that it's the children that is our job to protect. These men and women put their lives on the line every single day to protect the children of their communities and protect the American people and put them first. And that's just what we've done. These heinous criminals have gone and attacked children at their most vulnerable state, and law enforcement has stepped up to the plate to remove them from the communities. Over the last 10 days, we have removed 54 sexual predators, 164 offenders of sexual crimes, 2 convicted murderers, 1 convicted of drug trafficking, and 8 other heinous felonies. The men and women of Florida law enforcement, thanks to Governor DeSantis' leadership, we've been able to set the tone for the nation of removing the worst of the worst. We've been able to partner in a way that we're able to model for the rest of the country, and I could not be more grateful for the opportunity that we have to stand together as law enforcement to be able to protect the American people. President Trump has made it his mission and allowed the men and women of ICE to go after alien criminals who came across the border due to open border policies. President Trump and Secretary Noem have made it a priority to let the men and women of ICE go out and do their job, to make historic partnerships just like here in the state of Florida and nationwide. And together, we have been able to remove, again, over 230 heinous criminals from their communities. Anybody who hurts a child in this country should not be allowed to run free. Somebody who has a lot of young people in their family, I know firsthand it is our job to protect them. When you have President Trump, who's a father and a grandfather, Secretary Noem, who's a grandmother and a mother, knows firsthand what it's like to be able to protect their young people in their communities. And that's what we're able to do every single day. So again, I want to thank Governor DeSantis. I want to thank the state of Florida for this historic partnership that we're able to have with 287G and how successful Operation Dirtbag has been. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you all so much for being here today. My name is Anthony Coker. I'm the Executive Director of Immigration Enforcement for the state of Florida. I would like to first start off by saying congratulations to Commissioner Glass, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, and ICE Miami, Acting Field Officer Director Walker, on a job well done. As the Deputy Director said, this operation was super successful. I would like to talk about the 287G program briefly. Governor DeSantis took swift and decisive actions when President Trump was inaugurated to ensure that Florida set the bar on what 287G enforcement and cooperation with the federal government look like. Because of the steadfast leadership from Governor DeSantis, the bar has been set for the nation, and we will, on behalf of the state of Florida, continue to collaborate and work with our DHS partners. From day one, Governor DeSantis understood The all-hands-on-deck approach in this 287G program would be instrumental in the success of the program. I proudly stand here today on behalf of the state of Florida and say that every state agency in the state of Florida have active 287G certified credentials and have made a 287G task force arrest. This all-hands-on-deck approach could not be possible without the guidance from our great sheriffs and police chiefs and state agency heads. In closing, I would like again to thank and congratulate Commissioner Glass, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, and ICE Miami on a job well done. Deputy Director Sheahan, we in the state of Florida, on behalf of Governor DeSantis, proudly stand shoulder to shoulder with the brave men and women of ICE as they continue to arrest and deport criminal illegal aliens out of our great state. Thank you.
Thank you, Executive Director. My name is Mark Glass. I'm the Commissioner of the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. And on behalf of Governor DeSantis, who cannot be here, he was on slight mechanical difficulty on takeoff, but everything's fine. He was not able to be here today, but he was en route. So on behalf of him, I just want to say thank you for coming here to listen to Operation Criminal Return, or Operation Dirtbag, as the Deputy Director said. We do appreciate all the support Immigration Customs Enforcement has done for the state of Florida. And as Executive Director Coker discussed about how Governor DeSantis, we're all 287G qualified within our state. And I will say, Executive Director, he handed me my 287G card along with Executive Director Kerner, his 287G card. And so we are fully active all the way from the top to the bottom, 287G compliant. This operational criminal return is another fine example of what exactly the President Trump said. Let's get the worst of the worst out of our country. Governor DeSantis and our cabinet leaned into it, and we said we're going to do it even before the President was able to take office. Our state has leaned forward on immigration and trying to get these type of folks out of your community. These are some of the worst child molesters, rapists, murderers, convicted criminals that have been in and out of your community for a long time. And we're not going to stand for it anymore. Thanks to Deputy Director and the Immigration Customs Enforcement, we're allowed to go after these folks and get them out of your communities. Well, long enough. The investigators and the law enforcement officers you see here today are fine examples of those who came together along with the other federal, state, and local partners to put together a plan to go after these folks that have been in your neighborhood. No more will they be in your neighborhood conducting havoc on some of these folks here. Now, I just wanted to let you take a look at your boards over here, some of the worst of the worst. Let's start with Armando Rodriguez Garcia, a registered sexual predator convicted of lewd and lascivious assault on an 8-year-old and 6 count of attempted sexual battery on a 9-year-old and 11-year-old. He has been arrested a total of 10 times. Then you have Ariel Bueno Valdez, another convicted sex predator who sexually assaulted a 5-year-old child. This individual was living freely in Florida's community before his arrest. And finally, another one you have over there is Jose Prieto Castillo, also a sexual predator who was convicted of lewd and lascivious molestation of a 9-year-old child. And the abuse didn't happen once. It occurred over a course of several years. And since coming to the United States, he's been arrested 19 times and has a criminal history to include homicide, assault on law enforcement officer, robbery, and kidnapping. Now, these are just a few of what we picked up. These are the pure evil that is running around in our country. And we got to expel that from our country. And this is just a few. We have attempted murderers. We have career criminals that are on this list that we've gone after, and to get them expelled out of here. But we can't do it by ourselves. It takes you as citizens to let us know where these folks are at. It takes federal, state, and local partnerships to work together to ensure that we protect our citizenship here in the state of Florida and our visitors. You're not going to victimize Florida. I promise you. This is a law and order state, and under the leadership of Governor Ron DeSantis, and I will even say Chief Financial Officer Blaise Ngolia's law enforcement investigators were key parts and key players in this operation with FDLE, going to root out these people out of your community, and our cabinet members, they are part of leaning forward to protect your great state and our visitors. This is a free state of Florida. You could come here and enjoy yourself all day long, but you're not going to enjoy it on the expense of others. We will expel you from there. And if you are going to victimize our children and our people, and you felt that you're in control, the only thing, if you're a sexual offender, sexual predator, or career offender, and you are from a different country or you're here on illegal status, I suggest the only thing you can control is volunteer yourself to come to this ICE station right here in Miramar, volunteer deport, and one of my agents will walk you to the airport and get you out of here. Or you can spend time at Alligator Alcatraz, Deportation Depot, and coming up probably Panhandle Pokey until we can get you out of here. So I just suggest to you, if you're that person that is out there, we're not going to tolerate it. This is a law and order state. And now I'm going to also just let you know, this lady beside me, Director Melissa Bojeda, led this effort in protecting our children. And right now I'd like to bring her up to let her talk to you a little bit more about this operation. Director?
Good morning. My name is Melissa Bujeda, and I am Director of Missing Persons and Offender Enforcement with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. Thank you, Commissioner Glass and Governor DeSantis, for your steadfast leadership in immigration enforcement in the state of Florida. A short time ago, I was honored to become Director of Missing Persons and Offender Enforcement, and within a very short time, I was in awe of the number of sex offenders and predators who were on our registry, living in our communities, who were here illegal. I immediately created a plan, took it to Commissioner Glass, and he had 3 words: let's do it. And within a very short time, well, he also had some other words: how fast can we do it? So within a very short time, it was an all hands on deck for FDLE members within this agency. Every region of FDLE in the state of Florida took part of this operation, and 230 arrests were made within a 10-day period. Thank you to DFS for also assisting in the mission, and I just want to thank every FDLE member, analyst who took part to make this such a successful endeavor for the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, for the state of Florida, and as well as the United States of America. Thank you.
And with that, we'll open it up to a few questions. Yes. Look, the men and women of ICE are going after the worst of the worst. We're going after criminally illegal aliens. We're going after anybody who's been in this country illegally, that was let into this country over open border policies. The men and women of ICE are spending all of their time protecting the American people and putting the American people first, which wasn't done in previous administrations. We stand by President Trump and Secretary Noem and our ability to do that, and we'll continue to fight for the American people every single day.
And your second question was what again, ma'am? That varies day to day, and I will tell you. Well, I will tell you because the ICE our ERO comes and goes all the time, picking them up. Our Florida sheriffs are bringing them out of their county facilities, and they're being escorted by FHP. These vans coming in and out of the different Alligator Alcatraz Deportation Depot. It will go from 3,000. It could be more than that. It could be less than that. But every day adjusts. And I would recommend you go to one of our websites, which is the Executive Director Coker has, that we have on there with how many people we've detained. And I think that would answer your question on a daily basis.
If you've been in this country illegally and ICE has apprehended you, or Florida through our 287G partnership, you'll be ultimately put through immigration proceedings, received your due process, and then ultimately removed from this country, turning the point of the judge. We have multiple agreements with different countries to make sure that everybody that is not supposed to be in this country is returned. Yes.
I just want to make sure it's clear. Commissioner Glass, I think you said these individuals self-report, they'd be taken to the airport versus if they're caught, then they'll be taken to a
Yeah, absolutely. So we encourage everybody to self-deport. If you show up here and you want to self-deport immediately, you absolutely can. We're more than happy to escort you through that. You can use the CBP Home app and go home almost immediately and not even have to interact with immigration law enforcement. But if you choose to stay in this country illegally and we find you, you will go through your immigration proceedings and ultimately be removed from this country. Yes. If you choose to self-deport, you can show up at an airport and self-deport any time. Use the CBP Home app. There's a stipend involved where they're able to receive almost $1,000 to be able to return home, also allowing us to pay for the flight. Yes. Look, we follow all judges' orders. As the men and women of ICE and CBP have been working in the city of Chicago, we've seen crime go down at historic rates with no help at all from the sanctuary city policies that we've seen from the governor as well as the leadership in Chicago. We'll continue to work in Chicago, but we'll also follow every judge order as we have before. Yes. Well, look, we go after the worst of the worst criminals. We have many targeting apparatuses for us to be able to identify, use our intelligence, and work and piggyback with the state of Florida from the knowledge that they have on the ground. These are people with executable final orders for us to be able to remove from this country, and these are also built off of new intel, which I'll let the commissioner speak to.
So not only are these the ones if you're a sexual offender or sexual predator in the state of Florida, and I encourage everyone to go to FDLE's website to know your community, know what's sitting around you, know who's living around you. That registry is there for your protection, also to give you advice and to protect your family and children. But we have a lot that do not follow state statute and file and go report to the sheriffs and make sure that they're where they're supposed to be at. Are they too close to living too close to schools, violating state's law? So what we do is we have some of those who still we have not been able to find based on their last known location, and those are called absconders. And you will see us put arrest warrants affidavits on them. So that's coming soon for those folks. So if you are not living where you're supposed to live at and you're a sexual offender or sexual predator, I suggest you go to your local sheriff and re-register yourself or call FDLE and let's put you right where you're supposed to be at so we can protect our community.
Yes.
Over 600,000 Venezuelans lost PPS, and a lot of them live here in Florida. Now they are undocumented. Is ICE going to go after them? Are they a priority in immigration enforcement operations? How is that going to deal with the people that lost PPS?
Look, anybody who's in this country illegally, we will continue to go after and target anybody who is in our targeting system, whether you have a final order or we come across you in our 287G efforts. But our job is to keep the community safe. The men and women of ICE, as well as Florida, go after using immigration law as it's written. We work within the laws that we are given, the laws that Congress gave us to work within, and that's what we're doing every single day. If we come across somebody that's illegal, we'll put them through immigration proceedings and ultimately be removed from this country. Yes.
Kind of a follow-up to your question, but were these already convicted offenders on your registry, and then you kind of maybe cross-checked and said, you're illegal, is that how this would?
Yes, and I can let the commissioner get into the details, but absolutely.
So the court systems here in the state of Florida, if you're convicted of a sex crime, sex offender, sex predator, you're required by statute to enroll on the registry that way that protects the community. They're also required to make sure your address is updated so the community knows where you're at, so you do not, subjugate someone else to the same heinous crime that you've committed on that victim. So that is one thing. So based on ICE records, and there's other stuff behind it, based on ICE records on who's on final deportation status, who's already had their due process, and they're still sitting here, it's easier for us to go grab that person who's not supposed to be here at all, and they've been told to leave, and they're supposed to be sending them out, just to go find them, and then get a lot of them. Yes, sir. majority of these folks that you've seen have already gone through the system, the state system in the state of Florida or other states that have moved here and they've had to move their registry to here to tell them that they've moved to this area. So they've either committed these heinous crimes in other states, or majority of them were conducted here in the state of Florida. So they have already gone through legal proceedings. ICE has already put the deportation proceedings. They've gone through those due processes. So these folks have already been through so many processes, due process, and so it's beyond that part. But they've been allowed for the previous administration under Biden to sit here on our soil and continue to do this. And I read off to you some of the other things they've done, robberies, rapes, everything else that's still happened there, attempted murders, what we've been able to get out of them. So here's the deal. ICE is doing their job under President Trump, is removing these heinous criminals out of our country. The Governor DeSantis and our cabinet has leaned into this and said, we're going to get them out of here too. We do not want these folks here, causing havoc on our children and on our visitors that are coming from other states and other countries here to enjoy the state of Florida. This is not going to happen here. It is a law and order state. Good question, ma'am. Thank you. Well, we work hand in hand with our federal partners on the detention facilities. You saw with Alligator Alcatraz, Deportation Depot, utilizing the state assets and facilities here. The Panhandle Pokey, that's still being done if it's needed. Right now, the way we're looking at it, a lot of the stuff we're doing with the movement of the detainees in and out of the country, and ICE has really stepped up, and they're getting them in and out of our state fast. And it depends on how many people are coming in and when that stands up. Governor DeSantis is committed to this fight to ensure that our state is protected and that we have facilities to place them in. And so the Panhandle Pokey was another one that's coming up. So that's what our goal is to do here, is to make sure that we have a place to detain these individuals in order to have ICE time to finish up their due process and deport them. Well, you just said it in what you just said, your capacity plan. We always plan for contingencies no matter what happens. If there's more that we discover or there's more that is needed, if the federal government is asking for more assistance, we can definitely provide that. If you paid attention to the governor and the cabinet and the State Board of Immigration, they are willing to do whatever it takes to ensure that this mission set goes off successfully. So that is all about a plan, just like you said.
Thank you.